Pen and ink is a wonderful medium for creating impactful drawings. Black ink on white paper creates maximum contrast. However, some people are intimidated by the permanence of ink and are afraid to use it to its fullest potential. Pen and ink should not be scary. If you know a few secrets, which I'm going to share with you, you can find success with pen and ink. Secret number 1, work on papers with a smooth tooth. The texture of the paper that you work on is commonly referred to as tooth. For pen and ink drawing, smoother papers typically perform better than those with a heavier tooth. Heavily textured papers produce inconsistent, broken lines and can wear out your pen quickly. Smoother papers, however, allow your pen to glide over the surface, resulting in more controlled, clean lines. For cleaner pen and ink drawings, consider working on papers such as Bristol Smooth, or papers specifically designed for pen and ink, like pen and ink paper. Secret number 2, start with a light pencil drawing. Some people believe that you should never create a pencil drawing prior to adding ink. They argue that a pen and ink drawing should be purely pen and ink. However, most accomplished pen and ink artists always start with a pencil underdrawing. Starting with a pencil drawing ensures accuracy and allows you to study the subject prior to making permanent marks with ink. You can work out in your mind how you plan to address certain areas of the drawing before committing to marks that are impossible to erase. A pencil is more forgiving and allows you to make mistakes in the early stages of the drawing. Just be sure to create your pencil drawing with a light pencil, like an H or 2H, and use a light touch when making marks. Avoid shading with the pencil and keep as little graphite on the surface as possible. Any remaining pencil marks can easily be erased after the ink is dried. Secret number 3, practice with line. Line is one of the 7 elements of art. In fact, it's the most foundational of the elements. Line is arguably the most important element of art when it comes to pen and ink drawing. We use line to define the edges of subjects, but it does more than that. We also use line to develop value relationships in a pen and ink drawing. This means that when hatching and cross-hatching are used, line is the main element used to develop value. And value tells the viewer about the light within the scene, the form of the subjects, and the texture. This is why line is so important in pen and ink drawing. If you want to improve your pen and ink drawing, then you must focus on practicing drawing with line. Secret number 4, use directional stroking. The direction that you push or pull your strokes plays a role in the success of a pen and ink drawing. When developing values on the subject, you should consider the form and texture of the subject. This will help determine the direction that you make your strokes with the pen. Strokes should be pulled over the form of the subject, changing direction according to the specific plane of the form. This type of line is called a cross-contour line, since it flows over the contours of the subject. Use cross-contour lines when developing the shading with hatching and cross-hatching. Avoid using flat lines, since this will make your drawing appear flat as well. By pulling lines over the form of the subject, changing directions, we not only develop the values, but also the form of the subject. Secret number 5, vary the line quality. I like to think of line quality as the thickness or thinness of a line. Instead of using just one thickness of line, be sure to vary the line, especially around the outer contours of the subject. Allow your line to get thicker in areas of shadow or where the subject gets thicker. Create variety. It can be subtle, but even subtle changes in line go a long way in creating a more interesting drawing. Your lines don't have to be complete lines either. Including broken lines can help indicate highlights or areas of lighter value. Variety is the spice of life, but it's also a principle of art. By varying the line quality, we create more communicative and interesting pen and ink drawings. Secret number 6, be consistent with your applications. There are lots of different ways to make marks with pen and ink. There's hatching, cross-hatching, random lines, stippling, and more. And while it may be tempting to incorporate every technique you know into one drawing, it's better to stay consistent with just one technique. While we need variety in our drawings, we also need harmony, another principle of art. To ensure harmony in a pen and ink drawing, pick an application technique suitable for the subject and stick with it. If you start with cross-hatching, stick with cross-hatching. If you start with stippling, stick with stippling. Try not to mix methods. In other words, don't use stippling with hatching and vice versa. Secret number 7, experiment. There are many different ways to apply ink to the drawing surface. Most of us simply use a technical drawing pen. However, you can create a broader variety of marks by experimenting with different techniques. While I love my technical drawing pens, I also love using dip pens. While this technique is more labor intensive, I find that I have more control over my marks, and I can create more variety when ink is applied in this manner. You can apply ink using just about anything, from a brush to a stick. If you've never tried a different way to apply ink, experiment to discover new ways to create marks.
Now, for those of you who want to go deeper with pen and ink drawing, check out the course Subjects with Pen and Ink. Now, this course is one of the many courses we offer over at thevirtualinstructor.com. In this course, I'll walk you through the process of creating 31 different drawings using a variety of different pen and ink techniques. We use hatching and cross-hatching with technical drawing pens, but we also use nib pens and also ink wash and stippling. Now, this course, like our other courses, is structured in a logical sequence, so anyone can follow along no matter what your skill level, and ebooks are included as well. If you want to learn more about this course, I'll leave a link in the description below, or you can just scan the QR code on your screen to check out the entire membership program.
So there you have it, 7 secrets to success with pen and ink drawing. By incorporating these basic foundational principles with pen and ink, you're sure to find success. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you were able to pick up a couple of things here and there. If you're new to the channel, or if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, give this video a like, and I'd love for you to leave a comment below and let me know how you feel about your own pen and ink drawings. As always, I wish you all the very best in your artistic success.